morning, and I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Wednesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with JJ LaSelva. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. A Wednesday evening that finds us right in the midst of the NBA draft. The commissioner is going to be heading to the podium any moment to put the Dallas Mavericks on the clock. As the NBA draft is about to tip off, Cooper Flagg out of Duke will be the number one pick. And then here locally, I guess a lot of eyes then turn to where will Walter Clayton Jr. be drafted. It looks like he will go tonight in round number 1. There is a strong thought that Miami at number 20 will draft Walter Clayton. We will ultimately see. I've made this very clear. If for whatever reason he's there at 25, which is where Orlando picks, they better sprint to the podium. But it's going to be a great night for Walter Clayton Jr. And then tomorrow night is round 2. And there's a lot of speculation that Elijah Martin will get drafted tomorrow night, and potentially Will Richard. If I was a betting man, I'd say Martin goes tomorrow night. I'd say Richard will probably have to hook on to a summer league team after the draft. But regardless, it'll be very interesting to see where those 3 guards that helped bring Florida their first national championship in almost 2 decades, where they will go. And we all assume that Walter Clayton Jr. will hear his name called tonight. We'll certainly keep you updated on that. Bashal Tutin, the latest Jaguar rookie to sign his contract. Of course, Travis Hunter signed his on Sunday. Bashal Tutin is now in the fold as well. And I believe that's it. I don't know if Jack Kaiser has signed his. That's the one I couldn't find. But regardless, he'll sign his by the time training camp rolls around. And that is something I want to get to here early on, along with the NBA draft, when we focus on the Jaguars. Look, all the talk about Travis Hunter, with good reason. But what about the other rookies in the class, right? Whether it's Caleb Ransaw, whether it's Wyatt Milam, whether it's Bashal Tutin, Jack Kaiser, Jalen McLeod, Jonah Monheim, Rayon Lane, LaQuint Allen. They drafted a lot of guys outside of Travis Hunter. Who are we most excited about here in 2025? Who could potentially have the biggest impact for the Jaguars here in 2025? Guest lineup looks like this. Coming up in about 15 minutes or so, my buddy JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. We'll talk about the rookie class. We'll also look back on the offseason, but primarily we'll take a look ahead to training camp with JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com. Coming up at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, my buddy Zig Fracassi. You hear him on both Sirius XM NFL Radio and Sirius XM NHL Radio. I've had Zig on for years. We'll recap the Florida Panthers and their cup win a little bit, but by and large, it'll be primarily an NFL conversation. Jaguars, AFC South. And I'm going to ask Zig, and I might throw this out to you guys either later on tonight or we'll do it tomorrow. The last NFL football game we had was the Super Bowl, right? Philadelphia and Kansas City. Coming into 2025, are those still the 2 teams to beat in their respective conferences? Is Kansas City still the favorite in the AFC? Is Philadelphia still the favorite in the NFC? We'll get into that coming up here with Zig Fracassi of Sirius XM NFL Radio. We're glad you're with us. We're with you till 10 o'clock, Jacksonville. As always, on a Wednesday, we kick it off with a big deal of the night here on Hacker After Dark. And JJ LaSelva, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
I'll tell you, there's a couple of big deals of the night. I don't want to bury the lead here. JJ, I hear on the word on the street is that we have a giveaway here on Hacker After Dark tonight. Is that correct?
We do. We have a family 4-pack of Jacksonville Iceman rugby tickets at Turf Field at UNF this Saturday, June 28th.
Love the Axemen. Used to go to the Axemen games all the time. Absolutely great. I remember their inaugural season here in Jacksonville. Me and my buddies went to a ton of Jacksonville Axemen games. They have been here for a long, long time. Those things are fun as heck. Here's what we will do. Caller number 4 right now, 641-1010, and JJ LaSelva will hook you up with a family 4-pack to the Jacksonville Axemen coming up this weekend. Caller 4 right now, 641-1010. If you want to go check out the Axemen, courtesy of the good folks here at 1010XL and your Jacksonville Axemen. All right, big deal of the night. There are a couple of them. Let's begin with what I talked about earlier. Travis Hunter is the rookie that everybody is excited about, obviously. You traded up to get him. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. He's probably going to play on both sides of the ball. It is a big, big deal to have Travis Hunter on this football team. Outside of Travis Hunter, what rookie, or I guess rookies, if you want to keep it plural, are we most excited about here in 2025? All right? You look right now, I think Caleb Ransaw is going to have a big impact on this football team. I think they like Caleb Ransaw. I think they like the versatility he can provide. I know they like what they've seen from him so far in OTAs and at minicamp. I think Caleb Ransaw is going to be a player, and I believe he will contribute this season. But can you get excited about a safety? Well, that's up to you. I personally can, but I don't know if you can or not. Now, Wyatt Milam is another guy that I am really fired up about on the offensive line. I think there's a toughness to him. I think there's a nastiness to him. I think that's a guy that takes pride in protecting his quarterback. Big 12 offensive lineman of the year. There is a lot to like about Wyatt Milam. And I believe Wyatt Milam will contribute at some point here in 2025. But again, can you get overly excited? Can you get fired up about a rookie offensive guard? I don't know. I can. Can you? Then I get to Bichelle Tootin. And that's the guy I talked about, just signed his contract today. He's in the fold. He's ready to go for the season and for training camp. Tootin is a guy that they drafted in round 4. Fastest running back in the draft. The guy ran a 4.32. People at Virginia Tech loved him. I had Brent Pry, his head coach, on from Virginia Tech after he got drafted. Could not say enough good things about Bichelle Tootin, both on the field and off. You want to talk about intangibly rich, right? That's what James Gladstone's looking for, intangibly rich guys to bring into the ecosystem. Well, not only does Tootin fit that from what I've been told, he's also one heck of an athlete. And when you draft a running back as early as they drafted Tootin in round 4, there's obviously a plan for him. They obviously are going to utilize him. Now, will he be a third down back to start? How much will we see of him? Because, again, you have two pretty good backs on this team, right, with Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. But Tootin is the one that I could see, 2-3 years down the road, outside of Travis Hunter, maybe having the biggest impact for the Jacksonville Jaguars from this 2025 draft class. Jack Kaiser, I like, but again, there's kind of a logjam at linebacker with Foye, at least for this year, Devin Lloyd, Ventrell Miller, at least for this year, you would think Chad Muma. If Muma and Lloyd move on after this year, could that potentially open up a spot for a Jack Kaiser? Perhaps. Kaiser was a great player at Notre Dame. You could argue he was the heart and soul of that defense. He's going to be a great special teams player, in my opinion. I like Kaiser. I just don't know how much he's going to be able to contribute this year or maybe next year because of the logjam at linebacker. I think Jalen McLeod has an opportunity to do some things. Look, he had 13.5 sacks in the last 2 years in the Southeastern Conference. I don't care where you're drafted. First round, 7th round, undrafted free agent, whatever. If you're at Auburn and you're playing SEC competition week in and week out, and you have 13.5 sacks, that's pretty good over a 2-year stretch. Now, can he come in behind Joshua Hines-Allen, behind Trayvon Walker, behind Emmanuel Ogbah, maybe competing with Miles Cole and Yasir Abdullah perhaps? Can he come in and do some things his rookie year? LaQuint Allen's another guy. When they drafted Allen, I didn't know a lot about him, truthfully. You find out pretty quick the guy caught 60-plus passes out of the backfield last year alone at Syracuse. 60. He's good in blitz pickup. He's secure with the football. I'm going to get back to Tootin in a moment. That's the one knock on him. Allen isn't the athlete I don't believe that Tootin is, but Allen does a lot of things out of the backfield, including being a major receiving threat out of the backfield. And then the two other guys, Rayon Lane, if you're a big-time defensive player at the Naval Academy, I had his head coach on as well, Brian Newberry. Again, couldn't stop raving about Rayon Lane. There's some intangibles there that I like. And then Jonah Monheim, you get him in the 7th round. I had a lot of people telling me that they felt that was kind of a steal in round 7. They thought he was more of a round 5, round 6 prospect. We'll see. I fully expect all 9 rookies to make the team. I think with a new regime, a new staff, drafting their own guys, I think all 9 guys that they drafted in April will find their way on the 53-man roster. Back to the first question. Outside of Travis Hunter, the rookie class in 2025, the draft class anyway, who are you most excited about? Who are we most excited about? I think there's some genuine excitement about what Caleb Ransaw could turn into. I think there's some excitement about what Wyatt Milam could turn into. I like the potential of Jack Kaiser. I like the potential of Jalen McLeod. I'm intrigued with LaQuint Allen. Rayon Lane, I believe, could be a very good special teams player. And Jonah Monheim, who knows what his future is. The Southern Cal ties with Baselli. He played a lot of games at USC. Had a lot of versatility as well. Tackle, guard, and center. So I believe there is a spot for Monheim here. But outside of Hunter, I got to tell you, I think it's Bashal Tootin. I think Tootin is the guy that I'm probably most excited about of this rookie class for the next year or two. With this caveat, and every time I bring up Tootin to draft analysts, they bring up one thing. He does have some fumbling concerns from his time at Virginia Tech. He needs to clean that up. Obviously, that would be a problem. And heck, the first carry he had in rookie minicamp, he put the ball on the ground. I remember Liam Cohen talked about that at his press conference that day. If Tootin can get the ball security issues figured out, I like what he could be in this Jaguar offense. The speed is dynamic. The intangibles are there. The guy's a playmaker. There's going to be carries for him, I believe, even though he's going to be behind Etienne and Bigsby. If your name's not Travis Hunter, who that's obviously the guy we're most excited about, I'll put my check mark next to Bashal Tootin as the other rookie on this class or in this draft class that I'm most intrigued and excited about heading into the 2025 season. Again, we're less than a month away from Jaguar training camp. Hard to believe that. The rookies, the aforementioned rookies, will come in on July the 19th. The veterans report on July the 22nd. The Jacksonville Jaguars play a preseason football game, August the 9th? So you're talking 6 weeks roughly until the first preseason game. Again, that is hard to believe. The NBA draft is, underway. Has Dallas made their pick yet, JJ? Or are they doing all the pre-draft fluff? They did make it, and it is Cooper Flagg. All right, so Cooper Flagg is a Dallas Maverick. Certainly no surprise there. The San Antonio Spurs are on the clock. Everybody on earth thinks it's going to be Dylan Harper, the son of Ron Harper. Remember how good Ron Harper was for the Bulls, the Lakers. You go even further back with the Clippers. Dylan is his son. He's projected to go number 2. We will certainly keep you updated. Again, Walter Clayton Jr. out of Florida, projected to go somewhere around number 20, perhaps, to the Miami Heat. Back into the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's preview training camp. Let's talk about the crazy offseason that was with one of my buddies, JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. We'll talk to JP about the offseason, training camp, and more, and we'll do that next on a Wednesday evening here in Northeast Florida. We're glad you're with us right here on Hacker After Dark.
The official station of the Jaguars fans. 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller. Hey, pal. Pretty nice weather we're having, huh?
You think this is nice?
I mean, it's sunny, warm. We do live in Florida.
It's not all upside, Jason. Warm weather comes, so all the cool people hit the beach. My old air conditioner craps out, so it's 1,000 degrees inside, and I'm stuck on a video call in my underpants trying not to sweat through my...
Wait. Put these sunglasses on.
I'm not going to put on your...
Whoa. The air conditioning experts at Bueller Air & Plumbing can keep your home office cool and comfortable all summer long. You look good in your meeting, impress the big guy with your cool confidence, maybe finally make assistant deputy regional manager.
Wow, air conditioning can do that?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all summer worried the weather is going to be too nice, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with ONE+. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. The 4th is a few weeks away, and I know what you're thinking. I can't start Awaken 180 weight loss because I want to eat on the long 4th of July weekend. Well, guess what? You can eat hamburgers on Awaken 180 weight loss. You can eat chicken, steak, or pork, too. You can even eat lobster because you're eating real food and losing weight. More important, it's fast, easy, and safe. No chemical shots, no counting calories or points, or any other fad diet. I can't stress this enough. You eat real food every single day. You know what else you're doing while losing weight with Awaken 180? Eliminating pain, fitting into clothes you haven't worn in years, sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed and energized and happy. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180, and Hacker lost more than 110. And you know what? You can lose whatever you want. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely by eating real food every single day. Awaken 180 weight loss is the clear path to success without disappointment. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or go online, awaken180weightloss.com.
The calls have been pouring in.
It's the strongest phone connection on the First Coast. The Checkmate Coating phone line covers you with expert interviews from around the country and your opinions and comments from here at home. All day, every day on 1010XL.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Zero Res. They want to help you clean your home or business. Big summer savings with 3 rooms clean starting at $129 and 20% off your air duct cleaning. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
June is Men's Health Month, and here's your reminder to be proactive and get screened for early detection at Ackerman Cancer Center. Many cancer instances are largely preventable and treatable. Take steps now to minimize your risk factors at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys Locksmith Service.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Jaguar offseason basically in the rearview mirror, right? OTA's gone. Minicamp gone. We are about a month away from training camp. Let's talk about all of it. Let's review what was maybe the craziest offseason in Jaguar history. Let's preview what could be a very interesting training camp in about a month's time with JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. Always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. JP, how we doing?
Hacker, doing good, man. I'd be curious the rankings on craziest off seasons in Jaguars history. I mean, you said it's the craziest, might be. I mean, there's some real crazy ones we've had around here over the years. I'll give you that. This is pretty darn close. It has to be. I wonder what the top three are.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. And crazy could mean different things. I mean, the Urban Meyer offseason was crazy.
That's what I was thinking of.
Dante Fowler blowing his knee out a week after he was drafted was a little bit crazy. But when you look back, JP, at the last, 5 months, I guess, now that the offseason is basically gone, right? The next time we see the guys, it'll be training camp and the season is here. I mean, from a mile-high view, how would you summarize the last 5 months for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Well, I mean, transformative is one word that kind of pops to mind. The possibilities are out there to build the foundation for some long-term success here. And it's just a different approach. I mean, you're going with some youth and all the leadership positions. 3 leadership positions, guys who've never had these roles before either. So they're kind of learning these roles as they move along here as the GM and the head coach and the EVP. So start with that. They've got some key pieces in place that you don't have to worry about for a while, at least contractually. And the quarterback and the defensive end, the corner, and there's a handful of guys like that, which kind of helps. And then they've, done a little work in free agency, but made a big splash in the draft and getting Hunter in here. So I think it has the possibility of being a transformative, foundation building time for this organization for the years to come. Well, that only happens if the foundation turns into something great and these players play well. The coaches get them to go out there and perform. So that's what we're still lacking. Like we're not quite there yet, but we've been able to grade a lot of off seasons around here highly. Let's see it hit the field come September.
JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. JP, I know you do a lot of out-of-market interviews like I do, and it never ceases to amaze me since James Gladstone was hired. Inevitably, I always get 1 or 2 questions about James Gladstone. For whatever reason, maybe it's the 34-year-old, maybe it's the fact that he looks so young, maybe it's the fact that, Pat McAfee and his crew have kind of embraced James Gladstone, given him his own nickname on their show. Whatever it is, the 34-year-old GM here in Jacksonville is a pretty popular figure nationally.
Yeah, and, there was that run there when the Rams were first good, right? Everybody wanted a coach off of the McVay tree, it's Cincinnati, right? I mean, they go out and get these guys. Whoever was affiliated with McVay was like getting hired. And there's a little bit of that now with front office types, right? I mean, he was groomed in that front office and under Les Snead, right? And just kind of this was the right time. It felt like Snead said in the past year, okay, let's put him out there and see what happens, right? So, and he's got a personality about him too. I mean, that's the good thing. He's not just some, computer whiz Harvard nerd guy, right? I mean, that's fine if you're that, but he's got more to him than that. There's some meat on the bones. The guy played when he was, younger, and he gets it, gets the whole idea of what the organization should feel like, right? And then has the guts to go out and try to make some bold moves. So, all right, that's cool. He's got that personality. Let's see as it goes along if he can continue to build it, right? That's the only real thing. But I think his personality is a reason why he's so approachable and likable. When he does speak publicly, it's straight and to the point. There's not a lot of fluff there, but there's good reasoning behind it, and he gives you a full answer. And then when he's not on the microphone, he's actually a really kind of normal guy, And you know what? Yeah, he is young. He's 34, but if you can do the job, you can do the job. And so far, he's doing the job.
Last personnel, or I guess, upper management, coaching staff question, then we'll get to the roster. But this offseason, I talk about how crazy it was. When I see the side-by-side photo of the Zoom press conference with Trent Baalke and Shad Khan, and then about a month and a half later, it landed with Liam Cohen, Tony Baselli, and James Gladstone alongside Shad Khan. Talk about 180-degree difference, JP.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was part of the figuring out of, where this organization was. And, the feel after the first wave of interviews changed it. And, that's just kind of how it goes. And now, yeah, I mean, you turn it on now. Let's be honest, Hacker. Like, I mean, if they don't win, everybody's going to hate these guys. Like, at the end of the day. Yeah. So, like, you got to go win and do it. This is the honeymoon phase. And I like these guys. Everybody loves Tony, clearly. And Liam Cohen and James Gladstone so far have been really great to deal with. And I like what they've done. But it's the honeymoon period, right? I mean, go play some games, go win some games, and you'll be able to say that it's a whole lot better than the past because I get what you're asking, like the tone and everything around that was just weird how it went down in January. But then they realized how it wasn't going to work going forward. And as Shad Khan is apt to do, he makes some changes and moves forward. So here we are.
A couple more for JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com, and, of course, Jaguars Radio. All right, the players on the roster. JP, I don't know if I've ever seen this amount of turnover. Now, we have plenty of turnover every year, but of the 90 guys that are here, I think I counted between like 50 and 55 that were not here in January. I mean, that's staggering, is it not?
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you suck the year before. That's what's supposed to happen, Hacker. I mean, they won 4 games last year. You just want to run it back? I mean, you can't, especially with a new staff that didn't bring in a lot of these guys. This is what it's supposed to feel like when you don't play well. You try to figure it out until you do play well. And turnover is inevitable, certainly when there's change in the front office. I mean, so it's a clean slate now, even for drafted guys. Hey, there's no guarantees that you're going to have your starting spot or whatever that is anymore. You've got to go out there and prove it to this new staff. It was obviously great participation in the offseason program. They needed to be here to learn a new offense and defensive scheme and the new coaching staff, everything that goes with that. So that's why. I mean, that's what it is. You don't want that every year, I don't think. There's just naturally going to be some turnover. This does feel a little extreme, but it's an extreme offseason because it's all changed. It's all new leadership, and they won 4 games. Not like they, went 9-8 and missed the playoffs. They were much worse than that. So you got to clean it out and start over.
I like to think that I'm good with jersey numbers. I'm kind of wired that way. I've been very happy I've had a roster sheet during OTAs and minicamp. There's a lot of new guys to learn here, no question about that. All right, Travis.
And then one of them changes his jersey during practice to offense to defense. It's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, well, let's talk about him. Your initial impressions of Travis Hunter.
Has a personality on him, it feels like, at least on the field, right? He's seems pretty good with his teammates. He's eager to be there. From all accounts, he's really great in the meeting rooms, both sides of the ball, can bring what he's learned to the field. And, there's some moments where he might be in the wrong spot or the miscalculation with Trevor and certain things. Hey, you come back, you work on it. That's what the offseason's for. I'm not going to dock a lot of grades right now because of that, because this was the time to learn certain things. Once training camp and things hit and games hit, then that's a different animal. Fantastic in and out of the breaks and great with his hands. And we don't know about, I'm sure he's fast enough, but nobody's wearing pads yet. So let's see it when there's actually some real defenders against him with pads that are wearing another team's colors. I think that's when we'll really start to see a little bit of it. But it's exciting to see. I mean, and it kind of builds this wide receiver room out a little bit. They've got some speed and some guys that can play now. And then on defense, his ball hawking ability is great. What kind of role will he have? Maybe it's just that certain situations to start and then build as they move along with him. But his ball skills are incredible, and that translates on both sides of the football for him.
We talk so much about Travis Hunter. We've certainly talked a lot about Trevor Lawrence with good reason. That's what happens when you're the starting quarterback for an NFL football team. But I got to tell you, JP, at minicamp, for those 2 minutes roughly that Brian Thomas was on the ground, you could have heard a pin drop in the Miller Electric Center. Now, luckily, he got up, walked to the sideline, went inside, then came back. Liam Cohen was asked about it, said he could have gone back in. It was precautionary, and then he was back in the next day at minicamp. But I think that, for me, put into perspective just how unbelievably important Brian Thomas is to this situation.
I was sitting there on the sideline right next to Jeff Lageman that day, and he goes down. We're sitting there waiting. I mean, the crowd was there, so that made it even more dramatic, right? There's 2,000 people in the stands that day. So, and we're like, he's probably one of the top 5 guys that you can't have hurt. I mean, you got to go to the season with these guys, and you need these guys out there. Of course, me being me, I'm like, what about the other 48 guy? Like, they don't think so. No, I was half kidding, but you understand, like, he's a guy you have to have on the field. You got to get him to the starting line at least. So that's why that was so scary. But, hey, good for him to come back out the next day. I was almost one to say, hey, just sit him down. But, hey, if he's not hurt, he's not hurt. Go out, practice. And I think he's poised to have an even bigger year this year, and especially with the help he has around him now at receiver. If that opens up a few things for him, even if it doesn't, he might go get it on his own against a couple defenders against him. So he's that talented. He's got the right personality to just lock in and go to work. So we certainly like that around there.
Final moments, JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. Helmets and shorts, it is what it is, but it's all we can go on right now. Your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence this offseason?
I mean, it's helmets and shorts, right? I mean, learning a new offense. And like I said just a moment ago, this is the time of year where I'm not going to, grade a bunch of, I'm not tracking passes at practice in May. I mean, that's silly. Some people do, and that's fine. You do your thing, but not you personally, Hacker, but other people do. It's just because this is the time where you're working out a new offense, and there's kind of kinks in it, and timing and chemistry, all these things you don't have yet. And, let's see. Let's see it when it gets real with Trevor. All accounts, he's locked into the new scheme and doing everything the right way. But let's see it continue to build. It's a big year for him, clearly. I mean, he's got the contract for a long time, but there's already a little bit of, hey, what is Trevor really going to be or do? He's got to go prove some things, I think, this year to get some of those naysayers off his back a little bit. Because if the struggles continue, that's only going to get louder. Certainly nationally, that's going to get really loud if production doesn't come relatively fast for him in this new scheme.
As we look ahead to training camp and as we wrap up here with you, JP, I look at some position battles. I look at safety as one that could be very interesting in training camp. I think the offensive line, look, they brought in 6 new guys in pro free agency and the draft class. There's a lot of guys here from last year that might be in some trouble. Those are the 2 that really stand out to me. And then I guess maybe the biggest position battle people were talking about in the fan base is maybe Travis Etienne versus Tank Bigsby for that starting running back spot.
Yeah, I mean, the line is where it starts for me. I mean, that's clear. And the 2 new interior players are going to play. Is the left guard locked in? Okay, we'll see. I mean, there might be some competition there. Left tackle, certainly. They didn't draft Walker Little. This group didn't. So He's got to have a really good camp, I think. And then, of course, the right tackle, Anton Harrison, has been off and on this offseason. Let's see what his drill, if he can take the next step and get back on track after a little bit of a subpar season a year ago. And there's some pressure on him, too. So, and remember who's part of the decision-making group now, one of the best offensive linemen in league history. So there's a little more scrutiny. There's always scrutiny, but with that guy involved, it's like, okay, there's really nowhere to hide on the offensive line. And then the running back, I mean, I could see, I mean, let's see if Tank holds on to the ball first, right? You know, and, you know, what else do they have in these rookies that they brought in, right? You know, Tootin's going to be fast. The guy from Syracuse has a chance. So, all right, let's see it in camp, see what happens, move it ahead. Experience does matter now. Like, Etienne has had some big moments for this team. Not a whole lot, but he has had some. And that can matter if you can continue just to perform. And with the money he's guaranteed to make this year, 6.5 or whatever it is, $6.5 million. All right, if he's the consistent, he'll be out there and playing. So I don't think that's done by any stretch of the imagination, because he's still a good football player.
You know, JP, 60 seconds to go. Leave us with this. The excitement in the city coming off a 4-13 campaign is pretty incredible right now. I think that's the Travis Hunter effect. I think Cohen, Gladstone, Baselli are factors there. You know, you mix in a little BTJ, some Trevor Lawrence. But there is no doubt that the team was bad and horrifically underachieved last year. And yet, despite that, the rookie minicamp turnout, last week at minicamp, that turnout, you know, those stands are going to be packed for training camp. There is an unbelievable level of excitement for this team coming into the year.
Yeah, and there is. I mean, there's a lot of buzz this offseason, and like we were saying before, the change happens, and if the change kind of sparks a fire, then you keep stoking that fire throughout the offseason. I think that's why some of the availabilities and open practices were there in times where they may not have been in the past. Not every rookie minicamp's open, right? Certainly not mandatory minicamp. So open the gates, let them see what's going on. Be transparent as much as you can without giving up the secrets. But, you know, I think that's a change in philosophy from the football leadership as well, the new group running it. So that's only going to continue to grow. Let's get through this, you know, next 4 or 5 weeks clean and then get to training camp, and it's only going to build from there. And, hey, week one's a big football game. You've got to get the win to really get it going the right way. We're a long way off from that. But, yes, there is a lot of positive momentum right now.
JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. JP, enjoy a little bit of downtime. Hopefully you're getting away for a little bit because training camp will be here before we know it. Thank you as always, my friend.
Hey, always a pleasure to talk with you, Hacker. Appreciate it.
1010XL. Home of the Florida Gators.
Plumbing problems, AC not blowing, septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We handle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning all under one roof. That's one call, one company, and one bill that won't give you a heart attack. For fast, reliable, and slightly ducky service, call 904-862-6769 or waddle over to duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Craving a cold one? Well, zip into one of the great gate locations you see all over town and pick up a cold Bud Light, or a Natty, or an Ultra, maybe a 12-pack of the King of Beers, or some cold Coronas. It's all happening at your local gate convenience store. Slide on in today.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. You've heard us talk about it. Window World, the #1 window replacement company in the USA, selling over 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years.
That's a lot of satisfied customers, and why J.D. Powers has awarded Window World Best in Customer Satisfaction 3 out of 4 years.
Window World stands behind their slogan, simply the best for less. With Window World, you get top quality windows at a price that leaves more of your money in your bank account, and you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement industry. When compared to our competition, there is none. See for yourself. Call the competition. Get quotes from them. But before you buy, get Window World's free estimate and compare the quality of the windows and the price.
You'll see.
And when your new Window World windows are installed and they're saving you money on your energy bills, if anything goes wrong with those windows, Window World and I will be there to make it right. That's my guarantee.
Call Window World today. Start saving money on your new windows and your energy bills and take vacation with your savings. Window World, online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
Hayes Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at atlanticinfinity.com.
Join me, Max Fink, as I keep a close eye on everything that happens in Gator Nation.
The Gator Report, polished up by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hey, Hicken here, and you know I'm going to talk about skin. Yeah, it's hot outside, folks. The oven is on. Temps are in the 90s, and it's only getting hotter. I love the summer, but my skin doesn't. I do my best with dry fit shirts, big floppy hats, plenty of water. My secret weapon, though, the screen, sunscreen. I use it regularly. Maybe you should as well. Look, I've also been seeing docs at Beaches Dermatology for years, and my skin thanks me for it. I'm telling you, it could save your life. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, superiorfenceandrail.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. You're on-road, you're off-road, now you're on the water. Greg, tell everybody what Coach and Honda is offering in the form of boats.
We've got the Honda boat, which is a great runabout fisherman. We've got the Coach boats. They're fantastic for getting out with a family. Nice lay-down beds, all with that legendary Honda motor on them.
Check them all out. They're waiting for you. You can see how you can be on the water with Honda or with Coach pontoon boats. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. With you till 10 o'clock, as we are every night. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92. FM. Thinking of my buddy JP Shadrick of Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. We'll keep the NFL conversation going later on in the 9 o'clock hour. Our NFC West preview will continue with the San Francisco 49ers, one division per week, leading up to the start of Jaguar training camp. This week, it's the NFC West. Tonight, it's all about San Francisco. My guy out in the Bay Area is Jose Sanchez. 49ers on SI is where you find his work. And we'll talk a little life after Deebo Samuel. We'll talk about Brandon Ayuk. We'll talk about a couple of new 49ers, Mac Jones, Luke Farrell, and then obviously Christian McCaffrey's health status, among many other things. The Brock Purdy brand new contract as well. That comes up in the 9 o'clock hour. Coming up in less than 20 minutes, my pal Zig Fracassi of SiriusXM NFL Radio. We'll get Zig on. I haven't had Zig on since the Jaguars drafted Travis Hunter. So we'll talk Travis Hunter, the Jaguars, but I want to expand it a little bit to the AFC South. And is Philadelphia still the team to beat in the NFC? Is Kansas City still the team to beat in the AFC? Of course, they played in the Super Bowl back in February. Are they both still the two clear favorites heading into 2025? The NBA draft is 5 picks in. It's gone like this. No real surprises at the top. Cooper Flagg from Duke goes number 1 to Dallas. Dylan Harper from Rutgers, the son of former NBA point guard Ron Harper, goes number 2 to San Antonio. Check this stat out from Darren Ravel. Dylan Harper's rookie contract is going to be for $56 million. That's his rookie contract. His father, Ron Harper, who was the starting point guard on numerous championship-winning teams, including the 96 Bulls and the 01 Lakers, for his career made $35 million. You want to talk about inflation? You want to talk about a different world? Dylan Harper, Ron's son, is going to make $56 million when he signs his rookie deal. His father, who is a multi-time NBA champion and a starting point guard for his career, only made $35 million. VJ Edgecombe from Baylor, number 3 to the Philadelphia 76ers. Con Knippel out of Duke won't have to travel very far. He goes number 4 to Charlotte. And Ace Bailey out of Rutgers just got drafted number 5 to the Utah Jazz. The Washington Wizards, New Orleans Pelicans, and Brooklyn Nets are the next 3 teams up. We will keep you updated. You know, I remember a world where the NBA draft was guys that sports fans knew, right? You know, the Grant Hills, the Tim Duncans, guys that were in college basketball 2, 3, or dare I say even 4 years. But again, it's just a different world now. I mean, I'm a diehard SEC basketball fan for sure. College basketball fan, I do enjoy it from a national standpoint as well. And you just don't know a lot of these guys anymore. With the transfer portal, they're constantly moving around. A lot of these guys are one and done, then heading straight to the NBA. So draft night in the NBA has lost a little bit of its luster for me in regards to that. But tonight's a little bit of an exception because, again, we're all waiting to see where Walter Clayton Jr. out of Florida will go. A lot of projections have him going number 20 to the Miami Heat. We'll have to see about that. And that'll be a tough one for me. I was telling Baloo this during the 2-minute drill earlier. What Walter Clayton Jr. did for the University of Florida in guiding them for a national championship, I'll never forget as long as I live. That'll be one of the moments, just that run in the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament, those comeback wins, those threes that he hit for the orange and blue. I mean, Walter Clayton Jr. is the man. And now here we are 2.5 months later, and there's a better than not chance he's going to be drafted to a team that I have been programmed to despise. As an Orlando Magic fan, I'm just not very high or keen on the Miami Heat, and I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that. Of all the teams Clayton could have gone to, it does appear like Miami is a possibility for him. Again, I compare it to Derrick Henry going to Tennessee. As much as I loved having Derrick in studio in high school, I'm a big fan of his. He had to go to the Titans. And he killed us for years. And I'll probably handle Walter Clayton the same way I handled Derrick Henry. I'll cheer for the guy. I will root passionately against the team. I hope Walter Clayton goes out there, puts 20, 25, 30 points on the board every night. And I hope Miami loses 82 basketball games if he does go there. He did work out for the Heat twice. He canceled every workout after that, which is why a lot of people are connecting the dots and saying Walter Clayton and Miami could happen. It would also be interesting because apparently Miami has never drafted a Florida Gator. You think, well, Udonis Haslem, no, he wasn't drafted. He was an undrafted free agent that made the team. Miami's been around since 1989, and I want to say I read that earlier today that if they do draft Walter Clayton, it will be the first Florida Gator that the Miami Heat have ever drafted. I did find that a little bit interesting as well. Zig Fracassi of SiriusXM NFL Radio. Zig also does some work for SiriusXM NHL Radio. We'll do a final bow on the Florida Panthers back-to-back. Why does the state of Florida run the National Hockey League? But before Florida, it was Tampa Bay controlling things. Now the Panthers have won back-to-back cups. Tampa and Miami have absolutely controlled the NHL for the last 5+ years, where a team from Canada hasn't won a cup dating back to 1993. That's just an anomaly. That's weird. We'll talk about that. Spend a majority of the conversation on the NFL, Travis Hunter, the Jaguars, and certainly the rest of the AFC South. Zig Fracassi joins me next on a Wednesday night here in Jacksonville, Florida, with JJ LaSelva. The hacker Ryan Green with you right here on Hacker After Dark.
Hey, what's up? This is Tiki Barber, former New York Giant.
And this is Tiki Barber. Lot of room to run. First down and more.
You're listening to 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do and stop in at a Daly's and make yours a Dandy today.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Mia here, and I love my custom closet from Closets by Design. With summer in full swing, having my warm weather wardrobe front and center is a game changer. No more digging for the right outfit on a hot day. If your home needs a summer refresh, whether that be a closet, a garage, or a pantry, schedule a free in-home consultation with Closets by Design. And the offer has been extended, folks. Receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. And free installation on any order of $750 or more. Visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hey, Hickett here for my friends at Zero Res. Gang, vacuuming is not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet, period. Do not, let me repeat, do not leave deep cleaning to yourself, but do-it-yourself dirt-attracting carpet soaking machines. No, no, no. Call on the cleaning freaks from Zero Res. Big summer savings. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take 20% off air duct cleaning as well. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Mack and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casta Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins. Fighting for your rights since 1975.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Florida Panthers last week won their second consecutive Stanley Cup. That is quite the feat. What a team Florida had, defeating Edmonton for the second straight year. Certainly want to spend some time on that. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are all of a sudden less than a month away from training camp as we are on the doorstep of the 2025 NFL season. My buddy Zig Fracassi, you hear him on Sirius XM NHL Radio as well as Sirius XM NFL Radio. And Zig's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Zig, how we doing, pal?
Heck, doing well. How are you, my friend?
Zig, we're good. I was out in your old stomping grounds out in Vegas last week. I know you lived out there for a while. Boy, Zig, what a town.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, it's even changed since when I lived there from 85 to 2001. I was out there for the Super Bowl the year before last, and I just couldn't believe what the town's become. And since I left there, Hack, of course, you've got now pro sports. I think they even had sort of a ceremony today for the A's. They're going to be going there in 2028. You already got the Raiders there. You already got the Golden Knights there, presumably the NBA, and all this with even the gambling aspect of it. Now it's all legal. Everybody's happy with their arrangements and everything. It's changed quite a bit, my friend.
And they have really embraced the Golden Knights out there in Las Vegas. I saw a ton of Golden Knights stuff, even on the Strip where all the tourists were.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about hockey to begin, Zig. You're on Sirius XM NHL Radio, and boy, the state of Florida, I guess, owns the National Hockey League, at least for the last couple of years, whether the Lightning or the Panthers. My goodness, is Florida now is a back-to-back Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah, and you got to give the Lightning their marks. Earlier, 3 straight Stanley Cup final appearances. 2 straight cups under John Cooper. And now, you've got the Florida Panthers who, let's face it, Hack, I mean, for the first, maybe 25 years or whatever of their existence, 1 Stanley Cup final appearance, kind of a meh franchise. But then, even after they improved quite a bit in 22, they decided to make the seismic trade to bring in Matthew Tkachuk from Calgary. And then, Bill Zito comes in late to the Columbus Blue Jackets. You start bringing in guys like Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett, who were underachieving first-round picks on other teams. You already had a couple guys as a core, if you will, in Sasha Barkov and also Aaron Ekblad. You made the big free agent splash for Bobrovsky. And, it's just amazing. You go back game 5 of the 23 opening round against Boston, where if Marchand scores on the breakaway in game 5, maybe we don't even hear about this, but instead the Panthers pulled the big rally, won that series, get to the final, lose to Vegas, but then the next 2 years with key additions, obviously with Marchand this year and Seth Jones, all of a sudden now this team's a wagon, and they may be staying that way for a while too.
Zig Fracassi, Sirius XM, NHL, and NFL radio with us here on 1010XL. Zig, my wife is a New England girl. Her family, they are just diehard Boston Bruin fans. They were flabbergasted, to say the least, about the Brad Marchand trade. What's going to be the future for Marchand? Do you think he stays in South Florida?
That is a really good question. By the way, and, people are going to pillarize Don Sweeney for basically handing him to, a division rival, a team that they couldn't beat when it was all said and done. But the bottom line is this. I think Sweeney did the guy a solid. He was a lifetime Bruin. He's always going to be remembered as a Boston Bruin. And let's factor a couple things in here, Hack. They were apparently close on a deal, but they couldn't, on a contract for him to stay in Boston, but it didn't work out. And then I think towards the end, who knows, maybe we just heard a report this week that the Kings had a deal with the Bruins involving Marchand, but Brad says, I ain't going out there. Basically, it's Florida or else, hence they had second-round pick that ultimately got upgraded to a first-round pick. And, oh, by the way, when that trade was made, Marchand was hurt. He was coming off an injury, so there was no guarantee he was even going to play. But long answer to your question, I think there's a good chance of it, unless he really wants that last big paycheck, then maybe Toronto or somebody else, Utah even, could offer more money. But, man, had such a good time down there. And, hell, if anything, maybe they give him a few Dairy Queen franchises so he can promote Blizzards, for goodness sake. I think there's a reasonable chance Marchand stays in South Florida.
Zig, final hockey question. You mentioned Las Vegas, Florida, Tampa Bay. I mean, that's the hockey hotbeds now, right? Canada has not won a cup in 3+ decades. Any of the Canadian teams. Zig, it's to the point where it's weird now, right?
It is, although Edmonton's been close the last 2 years, of course, when you got the 2 great stars in McDavid and Draisaitl. But, of course, don't even get me started on my aversion for the Edmonton Oilers for abusing the draft lottery for a number of years. That aside, Toronto's had some solid teams, but they just can't get over that next level. Winnipeg was the President's Trophy winner this year, but they couldn't get past the proverbial hump. So I don't know if it's just a bad run of things. I do see the Canadians maybe being a factor next year. I think they're on the ascend, but I think a lot of it, again, Hack, depends on, when you play up in Canada, you're going to be in that, intense media scrutiny, like hockey in Toronto's 24/7, Vancouver's 24/7, plus the way the Canadian taxes work and everything like that. Maybe some of these players don't want that on their preferred destination, if you will. So unless something dramatically changes, I think this drought stays for a while because, quite frankly, I think the teams, even that you rank them in the offseason looking ahead to next year, most, if not all of them, are in the States.
You got to go back to 1993, the Patrick Waugh Montreal Canadiens for the last Canadian team that hoisted the Stanley Cup.
And by the way, not to cut you off there, Hack, but they won 10 games in overtime that playoff year to pull that off.
I was just a little guy, but I remember how great Patrick Waugh was in that series in the Stanley Cup final. A couple more for Zig Fracassi. That's the NHL side for Zig. You also hear him on Sirius XM NFL radio. Zig, we're a month away from training camp. It's going to be right around the corner, and I got to tell you, for a team coming off a 4-13 disastrous season as the Jaguars, a lot of excitement here with the fan base. They finally got their look at Travis Hunter at rookie minicamp, and they also opened up mandatory minicamp for a day. I think between he, Brian Thomas Jr., of course, Trevor Lawrence, fan base here has some excitement to him coming into the season.
Yeah, I think so. And again, I saw yesterday Travis got his contract. I think if I read Adam Schefter's report right, the most upfront money for a non-quarterback, or whatever the case may be. So they obviously think very highly of the young man. I know James Gladstone's been on our airwaves talking about the fact that they, easing him in to the offensive side because they see him more of, as a corner. Yet at the same time, they all know that the guy's got game-breaking ability on both sides of the ball. So, and he's a local kid too. So you need that little bit of a buzz because, quite frankly, Hack, just from a national perspective, Jacksonville, basically they're known as a team that plays overseas every year. So you got to create that buzz. I know they're still doing work on that, revamp the stadium there. Trevor Lawrence has to come back this year, start looking like that kid of a couple of years ago that went on that run the second half of the year, and then they had the nice little playoff run that year. That's what we need to see more of. I want to see more of ATM with the ball. Again, you mentioned the receivers that are very good. Defense needs to step up, but I think there's reason enough to be an optimist. And quite frankly, I think the Texans are still the class of that division, but Indianapolis's quarterback concerns, how's the kid Cam Ward going to perform in Tennessee? Jacksonville may kind of sneak up on people, especially if Lawrence is right.
That's my thought about the division. You kind of mentioned it there. Look, I think Houston's good. I think they took a step back last year, and I got to tell you, Zig, I got some concerns about some of the things they did this offseason, particularly their offensive line. Now, I still think on paper they're the favorite going in, but when you consider the quarterback controversy in Indy, you consider Tennessee being in the midst of a rebuild. I'm not saying Jacksonville is any great shakes, but in this division, I could see any of these teams winning it because I don't think any of them are very good.
No, although I think the Texans have the best quarterback in Stroud, and I think that helps them. But to your point, and it's a good one about the offensive line, remember we had John McClain on, of course, the legend from the Houston Chronicle for many, many years, does radio shows all over the place, and I think works for the Texans and their website. And he pointed out last year that the Texans had the most money, guaranteed money, in the league on their offensive line. And I'm like, holy cow, because, it seemed like Stroud was getting hit on a regular basis. Of course, they moved on now from Laramie Tunsil. So how's the replacement there? I believe it's Robinson, if memory serves me right. How he's going to turn out. Howard was a first-round pick. He hasn't performed well. I think Patterson's a pretty good setter. The right side of the line, a little bit of a question there. So, yeah, but Houston I still think is probably by default the team to beat. But I think of the other three, although I'm going to be intrigued, I think Daniel Jones has a real shot to win that quarterback spot in Indy. And, man, if you miss on that quarterback hack and, Anthony Richardson, that raw potential, but, man, he should have sat for a year or two, but he got thrown to the Wolves, and unfortunately now the poor kid's hurt. So, but I think Daniel Jones has a good chance to win that job in Indy.
Final moment, Zig Fracassi, Sirius XM NFL Radio. Zig, as we wrap up, the last time we saw a football game, it was between Kansas City and Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. As training camp gets set to open in the coming weeks, do you feel those are still the two teams to beat in their respective conferences?
It's kind of hard to go against either one, to be honest with you, especially with the Chiefs. I got a feeling, with Patrick Mahomes, all he's accomplished already, he's still not satisfied. Kelsey obviously didn't go out like some people thought that he would. They've revamped the receiving core. The key with them, though, Hack, is that offensive line. And hopefully the kid out of Ohio State, Simmons, can get in there and play right away, because that was the difference in that Super Bowl last year. I mean, Philadelphia rushed 4 guys, and they were still getting Mahomes like they were blitzing, which they didn't. So if they get that fixed, I still think they're a hair better than Buffalo and a hair better than Baltimore, though the Ravens have really done a nice job upgrading their roster. And then you mentioned the Eagles, and the only thing that probably could hurt them is a little bit of a hangover. I don't know if I see that with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. They're still solid. They did suffer some significant losses. Sweat was a key contributor on that defense. He left for the big money of Arizona. Williams left for the big money of New England. So they got some holes to fix there. Slay is no longer on that team. So NFC is going to be, I think, pretty loaded this year. You can make an argument. If Daniels doesn't have a sophomore jinx, Washington could contend. Obviously, the North still has 3 very good teams, and I think Chicago is going to be better. The Rams are tough out west. In the South, maybe Tampa, but if we had to pick right now, late June here, Hack, those are probably still the 2 best teams that have the chance to get back to another Super Bowl.
It'll be exciting. Again, training camps all over the NFL some open in about 3 weeks. Most of them will be open in a month's time. Zig Fracassi, SiriusXM NHL Radio and SiriusXM NFL Radio. Zig, enjoy the rest of your downtime. You got about a month before I know things are going to be cranking up there for you. So hopefully you get away for a little vacay, and we'll talk again soon, pal.
Heck, anytime, my friend. Thanks for having me.
This organization, do you know what it's called?
Its name is
1010XL.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal. Pretty nice weather we're having, huh?
You think this is nice?
I mean, it's sunny, warm. We do live in Florida.
It's not all upside, Jason. Warm weather comes, so all the cool people hit the beach. My old air conditioner craps out, so it's 1,000 degrees inside, and I'm stuck on a video call in my underpants trying not to sweat through my...
Wait. Put these sunglasses on.
I'm not going to put on your...
Whoa. The air conditioning experts at Bueller Air and Plumbing can keep your home office cool and comfortable all summer long. You look good in your meeting, impress the big guy with your cool confidence, maybe finally make assistant deputy regional manager.
Wow, air conditioning can do that?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all summer worried the weather is going to be too nice, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Registration is now open for the Circle K Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. With over $450,000 in cash and prizes, fun starts on July 13th with the inaugural Kickoff Beach Tournament that has a $50,000 cash first place prize. There's also a junior offshore tournament and one for the lady anglers. Best of all, the winner of the general offshore tournament takes home a Contender 28T with twin Yamaha 200s. Register today at kingfishtournament.com.
Learn the secrets to bring your A game on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Yeah, well, you really crushed that ball off the tee, I'll tell you what.
Learn the latest on new equipment from all the major manufacturers on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford.
In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court: the Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think.
Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
Put some gusto in your golf game with Dan, Jeff, and the PGA Pros on Brunch with the Tour. Teed up by Clearwater Irrigation and Apex Roofing and Contracting. Brunch provided by Chick-fil-A. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Hayes Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is thrilled to announce you can get all of their flavors and original vodka at PJ Liquors in St. Augustine. PJ Liquors, since 1999, has been serving up summertime fun. Now enjoy Brackish Vodka, the #1 local vodka in North Florida. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka, and you can find their 9 flavors at PJ Liquors. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is, proud partner of the Jaguars.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Till 10 o'clock, as we are every night. Thank you to my friend Zick Fracassi, Sirius XM NFL Radio and Sirius XM NHL Radio for joining us tonight here on 1010XL. You know, I think, JJ, I have figured out why the NBA decided to do a 2-night spectacular with the draft. We were talking about this last night. There seems to be a lot more elaboration on each of these picks. It's 9:20 Eastern Standard Time, and 9 picks have been made in this draft. 21 picks to go. This thing's not going to get over until probably 11:30 or midnight at this rate. Again, Walter Clayton has not gone yet. The thought is maybe 20 to Miami. We'll see. Miami has the 20th pick. Orlando has the 25th pick. I would guesstimate Walter Clayton will probably be drafted in that 20 to 25 range. I can't imagine him getting too much further past then. And if he doesn't get drafted tonight, I'll be flabbergasted. I'll be absolutely stunned if he doesn't get drafted tonight. The draft so far, no real surprises. As you can imagine, Cooper Flagg, number 1 to the Dallas Mavericks. There was no surprise there. Dylan Harper out of Rutgers, the son of Ron Harper, number 2 to San Antonio. VJ Edgecombe from Baylor, number 3 to Philadelphia. Con Knippel, another Duke player, number 4 to Charlotte. Ace Bailey, 5 to Rutgers. I didn't see Ace Bailey's reaction, but apparently a lot of people on social media are talking about just how upset he is. He's going to the Utah Jazz. At least that was his reaction on TV. Trey Johnson, number 6 out of Texas to Washington. Jeremiah Fears, that's Oklahoma. I remember him when Florida played Oklahoma. The great freshman guard. He goes number 7 to the Pelicans. And actually another SEC player just went, Colin Murray Boyles. South Carolina was awful last year, but Colin Murray Boyles was a terrific player. He goes number 9 to the Toronto Raptors. The Portland Trailblazers are on the clock now with the 11th pick. We will keep you updated. Coming up in less than 15 minutes, our NFC West preview continues. We were in Los Angeles last night. Later on this week, we will go to Seattle and to Arizona. Tonight, it's all about San Francisco. My guy out in San Francisco is Jose Sanchez, 49ers on SI. We'll talk about that Brock Purdy monster contract that he got. We'll talk about Christian McCaffrey's health. We'll talk Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Ayuk, everywhere in between with San Francisco as our NFC West preview continues tonight with the San Francisco 49ers. That does come up in less than 15 minutes. JJ, I'm sure you saw this, or at least saw the situation last night in Major League Baseball. So there was a game going on. I don't even know. The Diamondbacks were a part of it. I don't even know who they were playing last night. Marte, the second baseman, the all-star second baseman for Arizona. Again, I'd be lying if I told you I knew this story before it transpired last night. He apparently is out in the field or in the dugout or somewhere there on the diamond, and some absolute idiot, and I mean that, and I wish I could say something else, just some absolute idiot was heckling him at Chicago. It was I guess they were playing the White Sox, was heckling him about his mother who passed away in a car accident in 2017. Marte was visibly upset about the incident. Thankfully, other fans, I guess, were able to point out this moron who was doing this from the stands. He was ejected from the game, and apparently Major League Baseball has come out today and suspended that fan indefinitely from every Major League Baseball stadium. Good. Right on. You know, it's one thing to boo a player, and it's one thing to say, oh, you suck, or this, that, or the other. When you go personal like that about somebody's mother who passed away in a car accident a few years ago, I mean, for that person, I'd like for them to go home and look at themselves in the mirror. What type of man are you to say that about anybody else? JJ, that really bothered me. And I get it. You know, fans can be rude, and there is a monster difference between saying this guy sucks or this, that, or the other, heckling somebody, and going to that level of personal accountability. I thought that was outrageous that fan did that, and I'm happy Major League Baseball did the stance they did today.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. I'm not going to go against that. Yeah, probably not a good thing to do.
It was terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. I don't know why you would be possessed to talk about somebody's mom who passed away in a car accident. Again, he was visibly upset on the field. I mean, it bothered him. It would bother anybody. I mean, you kidding me? It would absolutely bother anybody. I'm sure that guy was liquored up, whoever did it. Now, that would be my guess. But my gracious, man, I hope he never goes to another Major League Baseball game. You got to set examples out of people like that, and that was not the right thing to do under that situation. A complete side note, all right? We go from a level of personal accountability like that back into the sports world. The New York Knicks, I don't know. You fired Tom Thibodeau a month ago, right? 3 weeks ago. And then you've asked permission to interview basically every head coach under the sun in the NBA. You've been denied on all fronts. You still don't have a head coach. The NBA draft is going on tonight. Tom Thibodeau, a guy, by the way, that was your head coach that led you to a conference final for the first time in a quarter century. Talk about egg on the face of the New York Knicks. The fact that their coaching search has gone this bad, this long, they're now asking permission to interview assistant coaches. James Borrego, who actually used to be with the Orlando Magic organization. I don't know who they're going to hire at this point, but to me, it screams of the idea that the Knicks just didn't have a plan. They fired Thibodeau without a plan. Because how can you fire Thibodeau? You ask permission to interview Ime Udoka in Houston, are denied. You ask permission to interview Billy Donovan in Chicago, you're denied. You ask permission to interview the Minnesota Timberwolves head coach, you're denied. Over and over and over and over. And now here you are the night of the NBA draft. You still don't have a head coach. Not a very good look for the New York Knicks. No question about that. We'll see. I mean, they're going to hire a head coach at some point. That adds to the intrigue of the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee, Indiana, Boston are the walking wounded. The Knicks don't even have a head coach. And preseason NBA basketball and training camp is 90 days away. It is going to be wild next year in the NBA Eastern Conference. NBA draft going on right now. Again, Miami, the 20th pick. Orlando, the 25th pick. Both teams will probably make their selections in the next 90 minutes or so. Back into the National Football League, our NFC West preview continues. My guy out in San Francisco, Jose Sanchez, 49ers on SI. Let's talk about the 49ers. A disappointing year last year, injury-riddled year last year. Do they think they can make the jump back in the driver's seat of that division? Can they catch the Rams, or are they being more realistic? We'll talk to Jose Sanchez about all of that coming up next on a Wednesday night here in Jacksonville, Florida. We're glad you're with us on Hacker After Dark.
Saddle up with the Frangie Show. Afternoons on 1010XL.
Born in Jacksonville, raised on Southern Rock, and coming home to the Florida Theater, it's Molly Hatchet. Saturday, June 28th. Get your fill of Southern Rock fury. Grab your seat at floridatheater.com. It's a hometown homecoming with Molly Hatchet.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show. With tips and stories. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Spring has sprung, and so have the bugs. It's Hayes Carline and my friends at Kingfish Pest Control offer an exclusive $99 spring special. That's right, your initial pest control service is just $99. And if you call today, they'll include a free one-time mosquito treatment. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned, 5-star rated with no binding contracts and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Call them now to book your service. Only at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Zero Res. They want to help you clean your home or business. Big summer savings with 3 rooms clean starting at $129 and 20% off your air duct cleaning. Call them 904-287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it and send them a Kuhn floral arrangement. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. You'll be assured of a quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Need cash? Peaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash, and they're ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. And gold market prices are at a record high. Get cash on the spot at Peaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local woman-owned solar company. Did you hear? JEA is raising rates again. With summer right around the corner, those power bills are only going to go up. But with solar, you can take control of energy costs and say goodbye to rising rates. At Clay Solar, we make switching easy and affordable. Stop paying more for power and own it. Visit claysolar.com to schedule a consultation today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are glad you are with us. One division per week leading up to the start of Jaguar training camp. This week, it's all about the NFC West. We will make stops in Los Angeles. We will make stops in Seattle and Arizona as well. Tonight, it's all about the San Francisco 49ers. Interesting offseason for the 49ers. Some key departures, some key extensions. Let's talk about all of it with our guy out in San Francisco, Jose Sanchez. 49ers on SI is where you find his terrific work. And Jose is always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Jose, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's beautiful to be back on Jacksonville Airways.
Yeah, it's whenever I talk to you, we know football season's getting closer. All right, a mile-high view. We'll break down individual moves in a moment, Jose, but man, it was an active offseason for San Francisco. Some notable guys gone, some notable guys getting contract extensions. What were your thoughts from a mile-high view about what the 49ers have done here over the last couple of months?
It's funny how you use the term active, because a lot of people around here would say it was inactive from the 49ers, considering how much players have departed or that they cut ties with, because it was a plethora of them, to say the least. You know, you have key players on the surface like Charvarius Ward, Drake Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga. You decided to let go of contracts like Malik Collins, Leonard Floyd. So they pretty much shed a ton of their defensive side of the ball. That was kind of the crazier part. I mean, it's not like they necessarily cut everyone. Most of these players were contracts already expired and they had to make some tough decisions. So while it was them kind of sitting idly by during free agency, it was kind of necessary for them to do so, because the players that departed the 49ers, you know, they couldn't have met those contracts. You know, what the Broncos gave Drake Greenlaw, I mean, well, Drake Greenlaw was one exception, but what the Colts gave Charvarius Ward, the 49ers were never going to meet. You know, so they were up against it. They knew they had their own dealings, like with Brock Purdy to extend, with Fred Warner, George Kittle to extend. So they have a lot of they were pretty inactive in terms of adding on players. I think that's why when recently they acquired Bryce Huff from the Philadelphia Eagles, there was a lot of excitement around. It's like finally that's essentially their splash addition this offseason, is getting that guy who's supposed to be a pass rush specialist, because right now the 49ers defense is, look, as great as it was to extend all these players, you know, as sweet as it is to have a future with injection of youth with the abundance of players they got in the draft, it's still pretty the defense is literally, the best way I can describe it, a variable. We have no idea what that defense is. So right now you have one side of the ball that's obvious, the offense. We know everything about them. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk should be back by midseason probably. And it's just the defense is what's it going to look like with Robert Saleh back there and all this use. So yeah, it's been it's definitely two sides of a coin for the 49ers offseason in terms of how they're looking.
Jose, the Brock Purdy contract extension, how was that received out there in the Bay Area?
I think it was received fairly well. Even for me, look, I'm not the high low guy with Brock Purdy in terms of he's great or even elite. I don't think so, but he's also not bad or a game manager. I think he's right there, perfectly placed. He's a good quarterback, probably tiptoeing around top 10. Right there, that's fine. He's top 10 to 12 to me. So when I saw that contract personally, I think it was received the same way as everyone else. That it was a great deal. People will get caught up, in the annual salary. He's making 55, 54, whatever million a year, and it's great. Let's be real. If everyone who watches football, we all know it's the guarantees that matters. And the way they structured his contract is they can get out of it, honestly, after the first year of when his extension kicks in, or even after year 3. So there's outs in that. So it's hey, we may have paid a little bit of some coin here, but we can get out of it. And even if he stays on that deal, then it's going to look like a bargain if he continues to get better. So ultimately, they didn't pay him. They didn't kill him. They didn't put too much with the guarantees. He got about 180 roughly, which is fine to me, because I didn't want him to get in the 200 range. I don't want him to get anywhere close to 200, like a Dak Prescott who got about 232, and essentially almost 100% of his contract is guaranteed. So he got what was fair. Just slightly a little more than Jalen Hurts, who got an extension a couple years ago or so. So even though you probably would take Hurts over Brock Purdy, but it's the way the market works, where it's every year it's going to increase a little bit. So I think Purdy got a great deal, and I think the 49ers got even the perfect deal, because it didn't kill their cap. They could still afford some players, even add some in the future, and also now they have a way that they can get out of it. So it's all in the 49ers' hands. I'm just surprised that they got an extension done before June. Not just his contract, but they got 3 contracts done before June. This has been the team where they wait until August, deep into the training camp. Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams before they get things done. And all of a sudden, it's wow, who is this team? Is this the 49ers? So awesome deal for them for sure.
Jose Sanchez is our guy out in San Francisco. 49ers on SI is where you find his work as our NFC West preview continues. Jose, not that I'm bitter being a Christian McCaffrey fantasy football owner last year, but last year left a lot to be desired because of just an unbelievable amount of injuries. How has McCaffrey looked this offseason, and what is his outlook for 2025?
Hey, you're not the only one who's bitter, my friend. I would say, no, especially because, you consider last year, he's saying like, oh, it's all good, just a little tight capness. It's like, it's whatever. You don't need McCaffrey to play training camp. And then he's a healthy scratch 90 minutes before game time. Like, wait, what? Excuse me? Everyone was completely flabbergasted. It was just insane. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's actually going on IR. What? So, yeah, look, I think in terms of how he's looking, he looks healthy. Considering, they're not going 100%. I know my editor, Grant Cohen, is calling him. He says he lost a step, which I push back on him. I'm just saying, like, they're not going 100%. We can't really tell what their speed is, and he looks fine for the most part. He doesn't look hampered. He doesn't look hurt. But to me, it's great. He's past the first sign. He looks good in OTAs, and let's say he looks fine in training camp too. Like, how is he going to hold up in the game? Because I think what really cost McCaffrey last year was 2023. Kyle Shanahan would not tell this guy, hey, we need you to take a break. He just let Christian McCaffrey do what he wanted. He let Christian McCaffrey be a ball hog. He let him go out there and be Kobe Bryant, essentially. So he wouldn't, instead of, they could be in the fourth quarter, the Niners are up by 7 or 10 points. And rather than just, taking away three carries, 3 snaps, let's say, from McCaffrey, it's like, no, we're just going to keep running him. And it's like all this unnecessary tread on the tires, like, it makes sense why last year caught up to him. He didn't have just one bad Achilles. He had bilateral Achilles tendonitis. Like, whoa, that's a little scarier. That means this guy's got some real tread on his tires, some real wear and tear. So right now it's looking fine. I just want to see what do we look like in the games, because right now, like I said, the defense is a variable. Heck, I still got McCaffrey as a variable. I want to see it. Like, is he still healthy? How long can he keep up for? And if he is, how high level of a player is he? Is he a drop off? Is he actually lost a bit of a step, like my editor's saying? Well, I mean, that's what I really got clued onto him. I'm really curious of how he's going to go, because right now, if the 49ers would be foolish if they go into 2025 and run him into the ground like they did in 2023. You have to use the players at your disposal to not have him be so hurt by the end of the year, be so hurt for next year. You got to preserve the player and protect him for himself.
As far as the other skill position, it's going to be weird seeing Deebo Samuel in another uniform. You mentioned Jawan Jennings. He really came on. Ayuk, hopefully, will be back, like you said, sooner rather than later. And George Kittle, look, great player, but certainly not getting any younger. How would you assess the rest of the 49ers' skill?
I think their skill positions are excellent. I think it's still considered to be viewed as a top 10 skill position team, talent-wise, in the league. And it kind of, the stats kind of showed it a little bit last year. They were top 4 in yards per game and yards per play. Both of them, yards per play, where they were number 2 in. They just were, not able to chain together enough consecutive drives and capitalize on opportunities like their red zone trips. By the time it was end of November, they were, bottom 6, bottom 8, worst red zone to touchdown conversion rate offense in the league. And, part of that is like Purdy's fault. He took a step back. Maybe a little bit of Kyle Shanahan not having Christian McCaffrey obviously hurts, but I think it's just part of execution. And that's why I think when the injury luck will be in their little favor this year, I guess it's going the way odds go, right? Like the injury luck was so bad last year, it can only get better, right? And so this team is a bunch of professionals, they're a bunch of high-level players that they will make sure those miscues they had last year aren't going to be as prevalent this year. So I think they'll bounce back in a fairly major way. Obviously, yeah, John Jennings, solid player. George Kittle, while he is up there in age for sure, he hasn't looked like he's slowing down at all. Like, he only misses 2 games a year, which is nothing, and more of those like just preventative. And I just think this unit is the 49ers are going to have to really ride their coattails on the offense, which is crazy because, you always hear the likes of Kittle or Deebo Samuel or why not Ayuk and McCaffrey, and you think, wow, this offense is carrying the team. And it's like, no, actually, since 2019 when they became relevant and playoff-making, Super Bowl-making teams, it was their defense carrying them. So I think for once this year, it's clear that, no, this is going to be the offense identity because the defense full of rookies, full of second-year players, where their offense is full of, veterans, highly efficient, highly level, all-pro, Pro Bowl players. Like, these guys have to get it together. There's no excuse. You got Kyle Shanahan calling the plays on offense. All your money rests on that side. All your proven talents on that side. this has to be like a 28, 26 point per game team. No mishaps. They got to get it together. There's no excuses.
Final moments, Jose Sanchez, 49ers on SI as our NFC West preview continues. Obviously, Ricky Pearsall, the former Gator, is in the mix there as well. And a couple of Jaguars from last season, both Mac Jones and Luke Farrell. Are both Jones and Farrell locks to make the team, Jose?
Yeah, for sure they're locked. I mean, Mac Jones was almost drafted by the 49ers, right? Or he was on Kyle Shanahan's mind at the very least. So I'm sure Shanahan's having a little joy having him as a backup. So I see no reason why Mac Jones won't make it. He signed a two-year deal with the 49ers, so he should be there. It should be all fine and dandy. And he's actually been letting it rip, according to Matt. He's been letting it rip in practice. So I don't know how he was looking like practice back there, or even in the few games he got started with the Jaguars. But yeah, the word is he's been letting it rip and letting that baby sling. So it's like, wow, really? Okay. It's interesting from him. And then Luke Farrell, yeah, he's expected to slot in as their number 2 tight end. And the thing about 49ers number 2 tight end positions, they've been looking for like a really good one for the last 2 years, hardcore. And while Farrell isn't like, some barn burner like talent, he is an effective blocker, right? He's really excellent as a blocker. Hasn't really shown too much as a receiver, but that's what the 49ers love. They have their number 2 tight end, such a heavy role with them utilizing in the run game. And then even the pass game, if they want to come out of a running set formation that looks like they're going to run, and they just do a pop pass to George Kittle or to whoever may be that designates to, like Juwan Jennings. So I think both of those two guys are going to be excellent role players. Farrell, number 1, of course, and then hopefully not Mac Jones, because if Mac Jones is there, that means Purdy's hurt.
Yeah, and Mac Jones got a lot of playing time here last year because Trevor Lawrence obviously went down for some considerable time. Jose, in talking to people around the division this week, here's the vibe I get. The Rams think they're going to be really good. It's rebuild time in Seattle, although they spent decent money on Darnold. Arizona thinks they're going to be good. It all comes down to Kyler Murray. And then people like San Francisco, but maybe a step back for the 49ers. Is that the way you see it? Is this kind of the Rams division, at least the thought going into the year?
That's how I see it. It's actually funny because I'm reading an article looking at DraftKings has the 49ers betting odds as the best. They're favorites to win the division. I'm like, that's interesting. Like, why would it not be the Rams? The Rams offense is really good. The defense is solid. Sure, the Niners, I think it's fair to say the Niners offense should be electric next year. I think they will be top 10 in almost every statistical category. It's just their defense. How long can their defense, are they going to find their footing? Because, again, they're relying on so many first and second year players. I don't care how immediate impact Mykel Williams is, and I have my reservations about him. I think he'll be okay, but I don't think he's going to be super dominant, at least not fresh out the gate. Outside of Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Diamondou Lenoir, and Diamondou Lenoir is unrecognized by a good portion of NFL people, I feel like, around the league. So even then, just those 3 players on defense that are notable. Outside of that, there's really no one worth noting who's has a sizable impact. Even Robert Saleh is going to have his handful. It's going to be interesting to see how that defense works in terms of is there going to be a lot of blown coverages because you've got a lot of rookie second-year players have to be disciplined. I just think that's where it's going to be their Achilles heel. And how long does it take? Does it actually even take the whole season? So, that's a huge variable. So you have one side that you know of and the other side that you have no clue of. So I do like the Rams as the lead. However, I will say I don't think the 49ers are going to be a bad or even average team. I think they're going to be a bit of an above average team. I do think their offense will be good enough to bounce back dramatically from last year and be enough to cover the woes of any defensive growing pains they may have for the majority of the season. I could see them winning as much as 10 games. I think that would be my initial pick before I actually say get into week 1. I think I like them at 10 wins, 7 losses, and maybe making a wild card spot, getting booted in the first round, which would be great because, you go from last year winning 6 games, and this year it's like, okay, cool. Now we improved that by 4. We saw a lot of growth, and now it's time to really capitalize, actually build this. So, they're not in a full rebuild. It's more of a retooling and refocus because the vibe last year were terrible, in the building, and they all felt it from that Super Bowl heartbreak. And now they've finally put all that behind them. So hopefully all that refocus and everything else against them can give them this little bit of an underdog mentality, which they're embracing. George Kittle loves it. So yeah, I would say the 49ers are a solid number 2 in the division with a faint chance to actually win it.
And, of course, the Jaguars make their way out to San Francisco at the end of September for Week 4. Jaguars at the 49ers. Our guy out in San Francisco, Jose Sanchez, 49ers on SI. Jose, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. We'll talk again in late September when the Jaguars make their trip to the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah. I'll be looking forward to that, Ryan.
And thank you, too, Jose Sanchez, 49ers on SI, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark as our NFC West preview continues. Jose has been my guy out in San Francisco for a long time. We certainly appreciate him coming on tonight. Kind of a change in San Francisco. Now, look, they still have a ton of talent. I mean, when you have Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams and Brock Purdy and Bosa and all the Warner and all the guys, I mean, they're still going to be a good team. Obviously, Deebo Samuel's gone. When will Brandon Ayuk be able to come back from that injury last year? They suffered some losses on the defensive side of the ball this offseason as well. And other teams in the NFC West have gotten good. Obviously, the Rams won that division last year. Seattle appears to be in the midst of a rebuild, but even they appear to be pretty good. And I actually like what Arizona is doing as well. So a very competitive NFC West. Again, the Jaguars will see all 4 of those NFC West teams. They will travel out to San Francisco Week 4 of the regular season. And again, thank you to Jose Sanchez as our NFC West preview continues. We've now made stops in Los Angeles and San Francisco. Tomorrow and Friday, we will hit Arizona and Seattle to round out our NFC West preview. One division per week leading up to the start of Jaguar training camp, and we're kind of getting down to it as we are now inside of a month away from the Jaguars reporting to training camp. Well, that will just about do it, man. It has been a very busy Wednesday night here on Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Jose Sanchez, 49ers on SI, continuing our NFC West preview. Thank you to Zig Fracassi. My buddy Zig, you hear him on Sirius XM NHL Radio and Sirius XM NFL Radio. We spent a little bit of time on the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Boy, the state of Florida, they kind of own the NHL, right? The Lightning have been to 3 cups, won 2 of them recently. The Panthers have won back-to-back. Crazy times that you look at Florida and Tampa and the success they're having, yet a team from Canada has not won the Stanley Cup dating back to 1993. That is just crazy. But congratulations to the Florida Panthers. And we also spent some time with Zig on the Jaguars. He's also a Sirius XM NFL Radio. Spent some time on Travis Hunter, the Jaguar offseason, the AFC South. And look, Kansas City and Philadelphia played in the Super Bowl in February. Are they still the 2 teams to beat? We talked about that tonight as well. Kansas City, I like them. I mean, they got Patrick Mahomes. How do you not like them? But what about Buffalo? What about Baltimore? Can the team make that run in the AFC? And with Philadelphia, look, they did suffer some losses on defense. Now, their offense is still going to be unbelievably good, but when you look at the Lions, you look at the Rams, you look at the Packers, you look at teams like that, we'll see if Philadelphia can repeat. Again, I think the Commanders right there in the NFC East could certainly give them a run for their money as well. And we never get too far away from the Jacksonville Jaguars. We also talked to my buddy JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio, reviewing the Jaguar offseason and, again, previewing Jaguar training camp, which, again, is inside of a month away from kicking off. Now, we will be back tomorrow, both on the Frangie Show. I'll sit in with Frank from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and then I'll be right back here on Hacker After Dark beginning at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, and we do hope that you join us then. JJ LaSelva was your producer tonight. JJ, great job, man. Appreciate you hanging in there with us. I know it's been a long week for you, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Dylan Denmark will return from vacation tomorrow and be back with us here on Hacker After Dark, but we certainly appreciate JJ. He's done 3 different shows the last 3 days, and we thank JJ. And again, great working with you again, JJ, as always. I'm the Hacker Ryan Green in Jacksonville. Again, thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Wednesday evening, and I will talk to you again both at 4 o'clock tomorrow on The Frangie Show and right back here at 8 o'clock tomorrow night on Hacker After Dark. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.